Before installing the system in the bike frame, make sure that there are no sharp edges or burrs in the area of the HMI, the control head and the entire cable feed-through, which could injure the cables when pulling them in. Before mounting the battery, it is important to firmly connect the battery cable with the pull-through cable. In addition, it must be ensured that here now decides whether the battery is screwed from above or from below. Once the battery is installed in the down tube, we can no longer rotate. Now we should bring the down tube in a horizontal position to help slide in the battery. When inserting the battery, the pull-through cable should be slightly guided. In this configuration of the bike, the battery is screwed from the top. To make it easier for us to mount and screw, we rotate the whole bike frame 180 degrees. Position the battery in front of the screw hole and screw it tight. For this purpose, please use only the original screws so that the battery housing is not damaged. The correct tightening torques for the screws can be found in the manual. Before the drive unit is mounted in the frame, the supplied speed sensor must be mounted on the frame according to the frame manufacturer. In this case, the cable is routed through the rear of the frame. Depending on the frame design, we would now install the charging port. But in this case, the charging port is located in the outer motor cover. In this design here, for example, we see the charging port installed between the drive unit and the battery. Now here it is really important to install the charging port before the drive unit is installed. The drive units are supplied as standard with a double cable guide. The upper cable guide also serves as a strain relief and must not be tampered with. In this case, we remove the lower cable guide to facilitate installation of the drive unit. When inserting the threaded sleeves into the motor housing, make sure that the anti-rotation lock is correctly seated. Before the drive unit is finally inserted into the frame, make sure that there is enough space available for the installation. It is also important to ensure that no cables are damaged, crushed or the like when the drive unit is inserted. Now the drive unit can be inserted into the frame. For this purpose, the position of the drive unit in the frame must be searched for somewhat. Now that the drive unit is finally in place, we screw in the screws provisionally. The system can now be electrically connected to the bike. To do this, we look at the correct polarity of the connectors and plug them together. The excess cables can be carefully pushed into the down tube. Now the second cable holder can also be mounted again. When installing the cable holder is meticulous to ensure that cables are not crushed or injured. We can now insert the supplied bolt. Before the drive unit is now tightened to the correct torque, check first whether the anti-rotation locks are really still in the correct place. Now we can first tighten the screws on the drive side with the correct torque according to the manual. Then the non-drive side. Finally, the connecting bolt is tightened. With this bike frame design, we can now mount the motor cover. To do this, we take the charging plug and insert it into the slot that is still available. For the installation of the HMI, make sure that, seen in the direction of travel, the right cable is also intended for the right shifter. The excess cables can be stowed away in the tube. Before we now firmly install the HMI in the top tube, we first check the functions of the battery and the shifters. The HMI is inserted with the spring first into the frame.